Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledge it, knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. News, brews, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, funny finding you here. This is Topic Thunder, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the program. We've got a spicy one for you lined up here. So much. Has anything happened in the last week?
Just a few things.
Right. And I promise that we're going to get to them. We'll probably do it in a little bit of length because there's really. We're kind of doing almost two topics on the show here today.
It's limited Topic Thunder tonight.
Well, specific, focused.
I like that. Specific Topic Thunder.
Welcome to the recreational version of the USS Rapapa. Specific Topic Thunder this evening. And if you heard the reference, that was my friend Biz up there doing the music. And Ben, I had to the distinct pleasure of bringing not only myself, Angela, and her family from St. Louis to a night market pop-up appearance of the Shiesty brand. And I'm actually wearing this is
I love that. That's great.
Right? Like if you know, you know, right? Kind of thing, right? It's got the Nintendo stars. And then it's got the built in the Chicago flag, and the stars have the
Nintendo stars is a great touch.
Nintendo.
I mean, it rhymes with Nintendo.
Yeah, right. Nintendo, Biztendo.
Absolutely, that's awesome.
So we got a chance to visit, to partake in a beautiful experience. Night market's very cool. They had a ton of cool different, that's the beauty of living in a place like Chicago, right? There were so many artists out there that were making things out of clay. There were plenty of pottery there, T-shirts, jewelry. People, there were several street vendors, not street vendors, but representing restaurants, bringing their wares and stuff. There were plenty of alcohol spots, whether you were just going to buy a beer at what I'm sure is probably part of the venue's alcohol service. But then there were specialty alcohols, people who crafted certain drinks and beverages offering.
Sounds like a great time. I wish I could have gone.
Was. And we walked upon before we get to Biz and we crack a beer, and welcome to the VIPs in the world's most dangerous chat zone, the Thunderdome. We found this lady who was basically making large tea bags of various freeze-dried fruits and vegetables and spices. With the gimmick that you take this tea bag, you place it in a mason jar, you fill said mason jar with whatever alcohol you want, and this particular bag that we bought was like a spicy margarita mix.
Okay.
So we took our mason jar, filled it with tequila, and you have to soak it for 3 days, and then you have something you can mix with, or if you're
drink on your put it over ice and hello.
So a fantastic event, and yes, Shiesty was there in full effect. And the minute I didn't tell Biz that it was a surprise, it was a Pearl Harbor, if you will. The minute we walked in, he started handing out a beautiful beer cozy.
Let me hold on. Let me take
for sure.
Screen share. My bad.
I believe you can buy this on the website. It is a beautiful beer cozy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and on the other side, built by Chicago. And if you don't know the story of the octopus, I highly suggest you go to getshiesty.com. That's spelled shiesty.com. And learn why Biz has kind of centered one of his main core products and inspirations around the octopus, because it's a really great and touching story, and actually might if it doesn't motivate you, you're doing something wrong. Biz isn't doing something wrong. Here's
Agreed.
the beer ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, which beer is it that's in the Shy
it's-
koozie?
Yeah, it's the.
You said it's been a regular on the show. It's not a.
it's the Cold Time by Revolution, which is
That looks like a beer that Billy Whack would drink, but no one else would.
This is actually.
But I think the can's designed to look like that, right? That's part of the gimmick.
I guess I look. This is a delicious beer, and when I tell you, it is like a beer that tastes like beer. When you just like put that generic taste of beer in your head, this hits all of those notes, and this is certified by not only Gigi, but this is also certified the official beer of the Chicago Sky.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Revolution, so local brewery, right? One of the first microbrews, I guess you could say. And then also verified by Aunt Chris as a delicious summertime beer. So
there you go. So the can is a bit deceiving because the can makes it look like it's like Schlitz or, like I say, like remember back in the day, I remember this at Jules, the Jules, and they had the generic aisle where everything was in the same yellow and black packaging, and they had beer, just beer in yellow and black packaging as was one of the things that they had in the generic aisle. That's what that can reminds me of, just generic cheap beer that, again, I identify it as Billy Whack beer. Billy Whack will drink any beer once at least. It's almost a sense of pride for him to have tried every shit beer on the planet.
That includes Stroh's.
Yes, Stroh's. You name it. You name a beer. There's a very good likelihood that Billy Whack has at least had one of them.
We're like summoning him into.
I know. Yeah, I know. He's gonna hear his ears are gonna be burning, and he's gonna be like, what is going on?
Like, oh shit, it's time for Topic Thunder. And you know what? That all said, instead of can we play that?
Oh yeah. Oh, I got ahead of myself. Hold on. I got way ahead of myself.
It's fine. Ben's ready to go.
No, my bad. No, I had it up on the screen and then I got distracted. So.
Guinea Pig of Beer is a good one, but I trust me when I say Revolution's Brewing Cold Time is a phenomenal lager if you're into that sort of thing. So in the aftermath of said night market, the brain trust, the hub, the core, the main parties of Shiesty put together a video of the aftermath and kind of like splice it all together just to show you guys what not only is Shiesty an awesome apparel gear, but there's just an amazing amount of talent back there in all forms of audio, video, graphics. Just take a look.
That's a new whip. Pull up with a Barbie, she got new lips. I got a new bankroll, I walk with limp. Eating calamari, stay with the shrimp. I got that new Virgil, I'm fly like a blimp. Out in Tokyo, shit, I feel like a pimp. Models in my section, it's a rock with the ice. I am not Ray Schumer, baby, I got it tight. Okay.
That's fucking awesome. We need to hire their graphics department.
It's some really awesome stuff coming out of a Chicago-built brand, ladies and gentlemen. So get
proud to support them. Yes,
absolutely. And on that, Dad.
Whoa.
We're gonna get head to headlines. I don't know how we transition from that, so we're just gonna transition from that.
That's what we do here. Awkward transitions. We're all about them.
Hey, let's just also just let's avoid saying
Probably a good idea. Yeah.
Probably a really good idea. Just put that out there. And here we go. Speaking of discussion, Ben, I heard you had some thoughts about the recent rulings.
Oh man,
of our not at all compromised Supreme Court.
No, not at all. And we were prepared for this. Last week we talked about some decisions that came down before the show went on the air last week, and you, giving credit where it's due, you were very much of like, because I was like, wow, these are some interesting decisions that we're getting here, and you were like, yeah, but hold on, they might just be softening the blow.
Sounds like it felt like appetizers now.
Mm-hmm. Like they were just like, okay, yes, love this, eat this, and now we're gonna cram this other garbage down your fucking throat, and that's what we fucking got this week
on July 2nd, like 4th of July week, when so many people are starting their vacations, not paying attention to media, like off doing their thing, getting ready to travel, all that stuff, right? It's that Friday news drop that happened. Probably not so in sync with the anniversary of the independence of this country. Shots being fired, and all these things mattered. Ben,
yeah.
I want you to lead with this honestly, because I know you.
Man, this one's tough. This and the next story we talk about, where they basically dismantle the court has basically dismantled the government's ability to put restrictions and regulations on basically anything. Essentially, what we have now done is turned the power in this country over to judges, federally appointed and otherwise appointed judges who are ultimately appointed in most cases by a president who selects those judges based on very political, ideological bases, right? Yeah, and the Supreme Court now, through multiple decisions, but involving the undoing of Roe versus Wade and turning that back over to the states, this Supreme Court immunity case, which basically says everything has to go in front of a judge to determine whether or not it's an official act or an unofficial act, and a judge gets to make that decision on a base-by-base basis. And again, biased, influenced, paid for judges. That's where we're at. Is we are headed towards an authoritarian government fucking head on at this point. And you're going to get into it, but Project 2025, we've talked about them at length. But this Supreme Court immunity thing and the FDA and the regulations thing is extremely important to Project 2025's agenda. And we're going to get into that, but it just feels so dystopic.
What Ben is referencing, and we actually do have a hell of a palate cleanser, Mr. Ryan Hansen, friend of the show, long time. This is NPR using adjectives like this, which they don't usually do. It's NPR. In a historic, consequential, and controversial decision on Monday, the Supreme Court granted substantial immunity from prosecution to former President Donald Trump on election subversion charges. Now, this applies to specifically, but also broadly, former President Trump's assertion that the 2020 election was rigged, and any prosecutor, any kind of crime that he may or may not have committed involving, let's just say, fake electors, he's immune from in those situations, right?
How is that? How is it an official act to blatantly lie to try to keep power?
To get into the nuts and bolts of it, mm-hmm. That's what the Supreme Court bounced back to the federal courts to decide if it was an official act.
That's bullshit, man.
Right, but they're going to say in this instance, like, oh, we're throwing it back to the states. The states have the power. To go back to the article here, the decision written by Chief Justice John Roberts established a broad new immunity from prosecution, not just for Trump, but for past and future presidents, too. Future presidents.
Mm-hmm.
Presidents may not be prosecuted for exercising their core constitutional powers. Core is in quotes. And even in situations where former presidents might be prosecuted after leaving office, they are entitled to at least presumptive immunity from prosecution for official actions they took as president. You're going to hear wild things about this, right? They are going to stretch this out to, well, you can assassinate anybody you want. Well, if you can somehow prove in a court that they are using presidential core powers to assassinate somebody they don't like.
And again,
This is where this is going, right?
if the judge that it goes in front of is appointed or was appointed by the president that they are now ruling against, you can see where the fucking nonsense is going to come from, right? Like, this is how dictatorships are allowed to foment and come to power. This is laying the groundwork for that. I don't know that you can put the genie back in the bottle, Brooks, and that's where I'm at, and that's where I get very dystopic in my views of this. Is like, man, again, we're going to talk about the debate, but this plus what happened at the debate makes me even more sure that Trump is going to win this next election. And when he does, it is, make no mistake, what he intends to do. It is a vengeful presidency.
He's already said, and as you have alleged, and we'll kind of cover, Project 2025 doesn't hide anything.
The playbook is there for everyone to read.
They're telling you up front what they're going to do.
And it's happening exactly the way they want it to.
Is it?
Well, pretty damn close.
Is it? We'll find out.
Yeah, I guess we're going to find out, yeah.
So we're going to find out. So in a 6-3 vote, the Supreme Court sided with all Republican-appointed justices voting for it, and the 3 that didn't were democratically announced candidates or Supreme Court justices. And in the dissent, it's noted that Justice Sotomayor.
Oh, this paragraph right here, right before this is what made me fucking furious. The court made clear that if he is reelected, he will be free to simply order the Justice Department to drop the charges against him, and that his
It's the list of people who have already gotten pardons is dubious at best, and the possibility. Are we still alive? I can't hear you, Ben. Am I still alive? So Ben may have dropped out. The possibility that anybody could be pardoned for anything, treasonous or not, in this situation is appalling, to be honest with you, and an affront to the ideas of justice, true justice, and the function of our government, where there are 3 branches that check one another. But that all seems to be kind of falling apart, and there's no mistaking the influences, whether you're looking at the Federalist Society that has been working for 40 years.
Leonard Leo may have heard his name on these airwaves once or twice or a dozen times.
Just to influence the courts, who gets nominated to judge positions, who gets through all these situations, who I
Our
don't
boy
know,
Sheldon Whitehouse will tell you all about the judges and the dark money scheme.
and I guess if you want to kind of recap really quick the other judgment that they made, because I want to get to people like Sheldon Whitehouse. So in another ruling, this one on Friday, the Supreme Court overturned 40 years of precedent that guided how federal agencies protect the environment, workers, consumers, and more, making it easy for regulations to be challenged in court. It is one of the biggest decisions of the term. A conservative court that's been increasingly skeptical of federal power rejected the deference courts have given federal agencies in which the law is unclear. That's a lot.
Yeah.
The story, funny enough, was brought by herring fishermen
Crazy.
who objected to being forced to pay a federal inspection of their catch. And that decision strikes at decades of rules of a wide range of regulations. Let's be clear about this. The idea that these herring fishermen brought a case to a court stating, I don't want the federal government looking at my herring nets, cages, whatever, is now overruling 40 years of federal regulations of our medicine,
Yep.
of
Food.
what's put in our air by corporations,
Yep. The
in
EPA.
our food, and probably this could be stretched to our financial markets,
Yep.
right? This could be stretched to, well, hell, at this point, you're telling us that there is no federal government.
Correct. That's
While
where
at the
we're
same
at
time
this
tell
point.
us there's a federal government that's going to prevent you from having abortions.
We are getting closer and closer to a point where you can no longer call us the United States of America. We need to get, it almost feels like we need to get to a point where we're like Europe and we all just become our own countries. And when you live in that state, you live in that country and you live by those rules. And if you don't like the rules of that country, you move to a different one where you like the rules. We're going to not allow the federal government to place any regulations on anything without it being checked by, again, politically motivated, ideologically motivated judges in a courtroom who we've seen time and time again. How many judges have made decisions that were so obviously politically motivated or just bad decisions in hindsight? Crime documentaries, Netflix almost wouldn't exist if judges were any good in this country. There would be no crime documentaries if judges and law enforcement did their jobs properly and didn't do it with any sort of biases or influences.
Thank you.
Yes, Stoney, thank you for hanging out and checking out the replay. Thank you.
Check it out.
But if you're going to give everything back to the states, which is what they obviously want, that's what they want to do. Okay, fine. Then let's stop with the theatrics of we're a United States of America. Let's just disband the federal government entirely, and every state is in charge of defending itself from terrorism and from outside influences. We're all on our own. Delaware, get your military ready because you got to defend yourself because New York is going to invade and they want your territory. What are you going to do? Delaware, nothing.
Good luck, New Hampshire. It's gonna be old Hampshire by the time we're done.
Right. What's Idaho gonna do if fucking Nevada wants to take Idaho for itself? Nothing.
I'm just gonna say, living in Illinois, we are in no place to invade any one of our neighbors because they for fuck sure have way more guns than
and way more drugs and meth. Yes. So
and the only thing that we have is that, like, if you're gonna fuck with us, you're gonna fuck with like Chicago, and I don't know if any of our neighbors are ready to fuck with Chicago.
But this is a dismantling, man. This is a dismantling
It's
of our country, of a United States of America. The idea of a United States is being dissolved in front of our eyes.
Somebody that we've read articles from on this website before, and podcast before, Sarah Kendzior, who is worth a follow on all of your social media. She's written 3 books about this, and absolutely one of her quotes is, they are selling the United States piece by piece and telling us, the citizens, that it's for our own good. It's literally kind of what's happening at this point.
It feels like it.
Because giving it to the state level just opens it up to a whole nother level of corruption, which is far less checked on a state level than anything on a federal level. At least on a federal level, you have the nerds, the straights, whatever you want to call it, like the people.
There's
that are
some
like
sort of
so
checks
narrow.
and balances in place. There is a system of checks and balances in place.
And we've gotten through 248 years of existence, by the way, which is nothing compared to some of the other countries of the world. But we've gotten by on this basic concept that we make the decisions, not corporations, not political interests, not super PACs, not foreign money. That the individual voter makes these decisions. But
Yeah.
here we are, right? So here we are, Ben. After a admittedly disastrous performance during the debate last week.
There's no other way to describe that.
And absolutely, the man himself has even said it. So, President today, Joe Biden, said he vows to stay in the 2024 presidential race during a call with campaign staff on Wednesday, and insisted in meetings with Democratic lawmakers and governors that he is fit for re-election despite his shaky debate performance last week. Biden dialed into a call with worried members of his campaign team and told them he wasn't going anywhere, according to 2 sources familiar with the call from our friends at Reuters. Quote, "No one is pushing me out. I'm not leaving. I'm in this race till the end." End quote. Biden said in an email blast in a campaign, urging supporters to pitch in a few bucks to help him defeat Donald Trump in the November 5th presidential election. The president met virtually and in person with 24 Democratic governors and the mayor of Washington, D.C. on Wednesday evening to reassure them he is up to the job of the standard bearer for the party after faltering the debate performance. Ben?
No, he's not. I'm sorry, Brooks, and I've said this over and over again, and I feel like I'm repeating myself, so I apologize. But I cannot help but reiterate what an indictment this is of the Democratic Party, that they did not have a succession plan in place to not put an 80-year-old man who has now gone through 4 years of stressful presidency, which look at every single person who has ever gone into the presidency and a picture of them before and the 4 years after they are president, what they physically look like because of the stress of that job. And you asked you're now asking an 80-year-old man, 81-year-old man to get up there and be able to coherently combat a man who is what he says is outrageous, but he says it with confidence and clarity and energy that had to be matched, and it was woefully undermatched. The first 7 minutes of that debate, Brooks, are some of the most painful television I have watched in a long time, because it was with such anticipation that you're watching it and you're saying, all right, here we go. And it's the first fucking answer, Brooks, the first answer to the first question. And he's blathering on and loses thought mid-thought and just trails off at the end. And I literally, hands on my head, Adrian will tell you, I was yelling at my television.
Oh, I did
What
the same
is
on-
happening?
I did the same
No
on the
way
replay.
this is happening.
You were not the first person or the only person to send me text messages it was literally hitting.
Sorry for the spoilers. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I was out for a great dinner, had a fine time, and had it on the record so I could watch it later. And I did the same thing. There are a lot of things that the best way that I can describe Biden at that moment for whatever those 2 hours were, because apparently after the debate he had a rally and he seemed just fine, all right. The only thing I can think of is he's some sort of vampire, and he needed to feed, and he didn't get a chance to feed before the debate because he was pale. He was like, "Oh, no, I'll be honest with you. If I was the president of the United States and I was debating somebody in what a traditional debate is, right? And again, there are rules set. Like, I don't know how many people on the show right now were ever in debate club or knew there
Surprisingly
was a debate
enough,
club.
no, not me. Like you'd think I would have been,
Me
but
neither.
no.
Like we missed our calling.
We did.
Absolutely. And there are rules to a debate. There's literally a procedure to follow. And it's not a matter of like, well, I could do it better, I'm just going to do it my way. No. There's a format, and if you're really that good, you can beat people in this format. And a lot of the time, I will say this. Now, Biden flubbed a ton. There's no denying. You cannot not say that, right?
Right.
A lot of time, I literally think he was surprised at like looking at the moderator saying like, wait, he's lying. You're supposed to check him right here. Like, you're supposed to
Is
be
it so it's the moderator's job to check him, not him?
Technically, there's both, actually, but I feel like it. As I was watching that, I'm not gonna lie. As I was watching it, like, I feel like I'm being attacked by both sides. Like, this guy's getting on stage and he's saying literally whatever he wants to.
Literally hyperbole and lies. That's all that came out of his mouth.
Everything. There were no plans. There were no policy issues.
Nothing. Never answered a question directly. Always went back to the same rhetoric. It was nonsense. But he said it with confidence and clarity.
It's like John Wayne. John Wayne never said anything of substance, but he said it with confidence and clarity, and in a way that made you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we got a strong man, which is a fucking problem, because you should want a strong man as your leader.
Yeah.
And you should be like, oh, he said it with confidence. He said it with authority. He felt like he was right.
I agree.
He's lying the entire time.
I do. I will say this. Obviously, I live in as Trump an area as possible. Again, the county I live in was one of the highest percentages of Trump voters in the last two elections. When I went to work the next day, obviously I am the ultra liberal in the office, right? So everybody wanted to find out, man, your boy Joe Biden, man, what did you think? Like, because I had the same feeling as I was watching it. Like, how was it going to be spun? And we're going to get into some of the spin a little bit, but people, you watch it and went, how the fuck are they going to spin this, right? And so people were asking me, like, how are you going to spin that? And I said, there is no spin, But what they even admitted, my conservative friends, is that watching it from their perspective, their thought was, is this really the best we can do as a country? These two, this is a representation of what the leadership of this country is going to be. I think there was a sense of embarrassment across the board. Like, even conservatives understood that Trump, while he said it with confidence and clarity, was saying nothing of substance, and what he was saying was downright lies and overinflated hyperbole. They saw it for what it was.
A convicted felon, and they're okay with it.
And yeah.
On the other side, we've got literally with all due respect, because I can also say, like, well, what about the State of the Union performance? We literally saw Sleepy Joe.
Yeah. What we could definitely know for sure is the rumors and innuendo that the conservative media was putting out that they were going to drug up Joe Biden.
Right?
That definitely went in the toilet. You didn't hear that.
Somebody else was drugged up, dare I say.
Yeah, but I was definitely watching that shit. I halfway through, I was like, I don't want to watch any more of this, because you knew where after about a half an hour, you got an idea of where this was going. Trump wasn't going to answer anything. Biden was going to fumble and sound and look very old, and I just wanted to see it end, because I wanted to see what the reaction was going to be of the talking heads afterwards. We happened to watch the CBS feed of the debate, so when it kicked back to CBS's talking head coverage, right? Norah O'Donnell, Gayle King, and then some of their political, people. I forget their names, but it cuts to Norah O'Donnell, and to her credit, because it's like it's just her on camera. They cut back from the base. It's the first thing, and I was like, okay, what is she going to say? And she basically said, that was awful. That was an awful performance by Joe Biden. There's really no other way to win. And then the rest of the panel all kind of went, yeah, there's really not anything we can say to defend any of that from either person. It was a nightmare.
Which is telling, actually.
It was like getting
right?
secondhand embarrassment from watching your best friend doing drunk karaoke. Yes.
It's true. But it's also, look at both parties, right?
Yeah.
Here are the Democrats seeing their presumptive nominee fumble and fall prey to all the stereotypes that the other side have been slinging his way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And legitimately having a serious moment of reconciliation and consideration. But, like, is this the right path? Is this the right guy for us right now? Like, all the calls for him to step down. We'll talk about that in just a moment. The Democratic Party is actually going, well, okay, we might not be in the best position to lead.
You can't feel confident.
Right?
You can't feel confident if you're the Democratic Party right now.
And then there's the Republicans. They've been like, hey, our guy's been on Jeffrey Epstein's flight list 7 times.
Doesn't matter.
34 felonies, another 50 possible. Adjudicated rapist, 7-time bankrupt business.
Adulterer, all
That's
of that.
the guy. That, I don't care. That's the guy. That's the problem. That's the problem, is that we're not dealing with anything that fits in the category of normal within our political lives. We are literally dealing with a cult.
To go back to my indictment of sorry, I don't mean to cut you.
No,
But to go back to my indictment of the Democratic Party, I look at it this way. I'm not the biggest Gavin Newsom fan by any stretch of the imagination, but if he was on that stage with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump tried to answer the questions or not answer questions and spit the rhetoric that he was spitting, Gavin Newsom is sharp enough, smart enough, young enough, and well-spoken enough to have slayed Donald Trump in that debate. And at that point, it could have been, you could have come out of that thinking, how is anyone going to vote for Trump after that? Like, anyone with any sort of ability to have combated the lies that were being spit out, Pete Buttigieg probably also would have destroyed Donald Trump in that debate. So it goes back to
right into it.
How did the Democratic Party not have a succession plan in place? Even if, you know what? Even if it was Kamala Harris, okay?
It is.
Even if it is Kamala Harris,
It is
Kamala, sorry, which is an awful option as well.
Is it?
It's better than Biden, but
let's
barely.
Let's jump to that. Let's jump right to that Mother Jones story, because
Okay.
It covers the what. We could sit here and
that Jasmine Crockett clip. I don't want to miss that because that is an important
it is
point of view to put out there.
This entire discussion among us left-leaning or as described as Democratic voters, the ultimate question at this point now is it Joe Biden or Kamala Harris? There is no other option on a national scale. And
no, Gavin Newsom's not that guy. Yeah, he's got too much California stink on him, unfortunately.
Neither is J.B. Pritzker here.
He's got too much Illinois stink on him.
Catherine Huckle of New York. You're regional. You're a governor. You've never had a national platform. And to be honest with you, you haven't had the training of 3.5 years of being groomed as the vice president, being exposed to all of the things that make a presidential candidate important. So
then why didn't they go with her?
Okay, so this is from David Korn, and I honestly, this is from Mother Jones, a very highly respected journalistic institution. And David Korn is also a political analyst I've been following for quite some time. Well worth your read. It is a long read. But he poses the question: who is better to lead the Democratic Party right now? Joe Biden or Kamala Harris?
I think that's easy.
It's Kamala Harris.
Easy, yes.
And he breaks it down into branches in the decision. Well, okay, you decide to, one branch is obviously go for Joe Biden, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other branch breaks into several other branches, which one could be Kamala Harris, one could be Gavin Newsom. I've heard names from people who now you have to consider suspect, floating Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama.
Yeah, that's another one, yeah.
Right? Which... First of all, Michelle Obama, if she wanted to get involved in politics at all, she would have done so a long time ago.
Right,
She's
yeah.
not sitting there waiting.
She could have cashed in that cachet a long time ago, yeah.
Waiting for this one particular vote to swoop in and become president.
They just waited. I don't understand it, man. I would love to have been inside the discussions that the Democratic Party is having at the highest levels and how they thought that Joe Biden was a good idea. Like it seems so obvious that he was just going to be a placeholder.
That's what he was supposed to be, because Merrick Garland was supposed to prosecute former President Trump for his insurrection ties and bar him from. Look, again, go back to Sarah Kendzior. She literally spelled all of these things out.
Yeah, but that shouldn't matter because
before ahead of time.
But it should. But Merrick Garland's unwillingness or inability to prosecute Donald Trump and keep him from running, that still doesn't answer why they chose Biden over Harris here. Like, if the idea was always to groom Kamala Harris for the job, and then Biden is just the like in the NBA, they hire an old coach, but they have an assistant coach that they know is going to be the next coach. So they hire the old coach with the idea that the old coach is only going to be there for a little bit to just show them the ropes, and then they're going to turn over the. Why was Harris not on that debate stage? The Democratic Party never even, for the first time ever, didn't hold a primary. They just anointed Joe Biden as the guy. Nobody ran against him. They didn't allow anybody to run against him.
Usually the incumbent just gets the nomination if they're running.
But this was a different situation. This was not a normal incumbent situation. And that was almost what they sold us on. That's almost what they sold us on without coming right out and saying it. They sold us on the idea that vote in Joe Biden, you know what he's all about. He's going to groom Kamala Harris. He's going to show her the ropes. He's going to show her what she needs to do. He's going to get the country back on track after COVID. He knows enough people across all party lines to be able to get everybody on the same page. That's the pitch. That was the sale.
And
that's what they sold us on. And everyone's all on board. He did all those things. He got us back on track. He got the jobs back. He got the economy back on track. unemployment rate is at an all-time low. All
world
those
relations, mending our relationships with allies across the sea.
He did what we asked him to do.
The right things to do, right?
But we pushed him too far. As the Democratic Party, the liberals, the left pushed him too far. We asked him to do too much to get a second term out of Joe Biden. Brooks, there's a good chance he doesn't live through another 4 years.
Well, that would be that is.
I hate to be morbid about it, but let's be that man. If tomorrow they broke into the news and said Joe Biden passed away in his sleep last night, we would all be like, okay, the man's fucking old and he's on a stressful job. Yeah, it makes sense that his body and his heart finally just gave the fuck out. How did we get here? How did they make the decision that Biden was the better choice than Harris? What did Harris do to show them that she wasn't ready? I want to know those discussions. And there's going to be a book that's written 25 years from now that will shed light on it.
I will say this. Overall, when you ask, how did we get here? The only answer I can come up with is not enough of us voted. And I mean that sincerely, and I don't mean to throw shade at anybody. But
yeah,
if you find we should be paying attention to our politics, and it matters at a local level because of this.
Yeah, so many people don't want to get involved. They don't want to. It doesn't affect me
because
I want to spend time with my kids.
Right,
I'm focused on them.
At the well, fantastic, and at the same
awesome.
time,
You can do both.
These people want to have government as they want it to be. Refuse to partake in the mechanism to get government the way they want it to be, but then also scream, I don't want the government telling me what to do. Then vote.
Mm-hmm.
Vote. It's just that simple. Get to know. Spend some time. You know what? You want to spend time with your kids?
Do you want them to have a good life, or do you want them to live in a dictatorship? That's where I'm at. My child is going to very likely grow up in a fucking authoritarian dictatorship.
I'm going to eventually flee from
Costa Rica, here the fuck we come.
I'm willing to, I know the words to "Oh Canada," so I'm not that far off. We could joke, but that's kind of where this is going, and we are at a precipice. And as a country, we kind of have to come to a little bit of a self-realization and have a difficult discussion with not only ourselves but our neighbors and our friends. And God bless the people that are posting like, I can get along with the people who disagree with it because we're all Americans. No. We're not there. We're at a point where it's either you're American, you believe in the rule of law and a justice system that works for everybody, or you're on the side of a guy who wants to throw his weight around and prosecute the people he doesn't like. And if you don't say or do the things he likes, you're going to end up in some sort of camp. I don't know. Maybe I've heard or seen this story before. We're going to jump back to, look, if you ever need to get the lowdown and a real cool vibe of what's going on, all you have to do is look out for Representative Jasmine Crockett as she just kind of breaks down this entire thing. Well,
I agree. It's the only way. It's the only cell that I can listen to, because I can understand someone watching that and going, A, I'm not going to vote for either one of these people. I'm just going to sit it out. Or B, I can't vote for Biden, so I'm going to vote for Trump, right? She now, in 1 minute and 29 seconds right here, she gives the best sales job of why you should still vote for Biden. I'll let her give it.
And here's the reality. If you are going to dump somebody because you don't appreciate how they, quote unquote, performed in 90 minutes, and you're going to discount everything that they've done for almost 50 years in this country, then honestly, it's not him that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the people that said that they had his back. The reality is that we see the Republicans will ride with a dude who's got 34 freaking felony convictions and over 50 more counts pending against him. People need to decide that they are going to choose themselves. And if they vote for Donald Trump, God bless us all, because he is only choosing him. That is all he's ever done. That's what he's going to continue to do. And to reward somebody for standing up there spewing lies and spewing nonsense is ridiculous. You don't have to be in love with the president, but you should be in love with yourself and say, I deserve more of democracy. I deserve more as it relates to my bodily autonomy. I deserve more as it relates to economic opportunities. The only person that even answered one economic question was Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I'm just as crazy this morning. was Joe Biden. Donald Trump wouldn't answer anything about the economy. Now, if people say the number one issue they have is the economy, you would think that they would at least say, well, he didn't answer anything about childcare. He didn't answer anything about making sure that there's more economic opportunities for black folk. He didn't answer anything on the economy. So why people think he better at it, I don't even know.
Jasmine Crockett always has the right, from my perspective, the right perspective and a different perspective that you normally, again, don't hear, or at least people are unwilling to say bombastically in front of cameras and microphones the way that Jasmine Crockett is willing to do it.
That's a point of view, right? And that's what this wonderful experiment called democracy here is all about. She's bringing a point of view, and she's not wrong.
No, I agree.
So
we need a palate cleanse, don't we?
We do, but let me just say this before we do that. Before you show that beaver.
Whoa, hold on.
Don't show the beaver early.
I will not show my beaver.
Don't show the beaver early, Ben.
Yes,
everybody will agree with this.
I'll pull my pants up. Sorry.
Let him get at least 3 dates, a couple of dinners.
Closing point, but yeah.
This entire situation is really boiling down to a choice between good and evil, and I don't mean to say that like
it's not hyperbole, and although it could sound like it. Yes,
both sides are literally telling you who they are, what they stand for, and I think, Ben, you and I are both really into when we get into a discussion, we want to win. We're looking for the win. Right?
Yes.
The win here is for freedom and for the ability for people to live their lives the way they want to. The choice to medical care, the decision to allow freedom for all people of all colors and proper justice is on the line versus what they're telling you, the restrictions along gender lines and reproductive issues and literally female health care. That will be it. But we're also there. We've also just set the stage for a Supreme Court who was willing and able to look the other way and give a president the ability to be vengeful.
That's just it. Yep.
And execute people. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, they're gonna herd up immigrants. They're gonna herd up people and put them in camps until they can deport them. That's what. Are we gonna get to? I know we're gonna have a palate cleanse. There's an AP story on the other side of that. Are we gonna get to that, or is that something that you think we're gonna have to skip for time purposes? That's the Project 2025 stuff.
We'll skip that one because we've talked about that one before. I just want to
fair. I will pause and point this out. It's very important. If you haven't seen it, to cover it. It's John Oliver did a segment on Last Week Tonight.
Yep, Last Week Tonight.
It's about I think an 11-minute segment. It's on YouTube. It's cut up just for it. But he talks about in detail and details Project 2025's plan and what they intend to execute. And that ties back to the Jasmine Crockett thing, is that is the only selling point that Democrats have, is that you may not like Joe Biden. We get it. But you are definitely not going to like what happens if Donald Trump takes office and gets the power that has been granted to presidents now. They are going to consolidate power where you won't be able to work for the government if you don't do exactly what the president wants you to do. You'll have no protection from the president just firing you. There's a lot of jobs, a lot of federal jobs that are protected, right? They're not politically influenced. They don't involve directly law making, but they're like support jobs,
Regulatory jobs.
right? And regulatory jobs.
Making
And
sure the
those people
water's
are almost
clean.
are kind of immune from presidential whims, right? Project 2025, one of the biggest things they want to do is consolidate the power to the president, and all government employees do exactly what the president wants to do. And if you are not of the ideology of the president, you will be removed from your office, no matter if you're the head of the EPA or you're the head of the Food and Drug Administration, or I don't know, you're the head of vaccine and viral things.
You're head of Boeing, and you okayed building planes that are death traps because you were looking for profit over engineering.
Project 2025, you have to watch that segment to really be able. He does a great job of breaking down why it is important that no matter how dystopic we feel or how upset we feel about the performance of Joe Biden and the fact that Joe Biden is the candidate, the other option is so incredibly horrible that we may not get the country back. It's that
Literally.
it's that crazy that history could look back at this election and what we're responsible for
And it will.
and it will look back on us either as we saved the country from itself, or it really is, as Ryan Hansen pointed out, every empire has a beginning and an end. There has been no empire that has lasted for all of humankind. We may be at the end of the American empire. It's going to crumble.
It's quite possible.
You're
not
back
wrong.
to the beaver. Let me show you my beaver.
Ben, show me your beaver. Show me the beaver.
So what is this? Give me some context.
This is a rescued beaver, an orphan, who never met its parents apparently, and out of pure instinct, builds a dam.
Oh, that's amazing.
Did not learn this behavior. Never knew. It's like Bruce Wayne. Never knew its parents.
It's like Bruce Wayne. Oh, look at
Awesome.
that is great. He's like, I'm just gonna take all of the stuff.
Guys, trust me. I'm feeling this.
I know what I don't know why I'm doing this, but I feel like it's important. But I feel like it's important. Just let me do this.
How awesome is that?
That is so
Pure
great.
Instinct.
And he's so cute with the fucking stuffed animals and
It's
shit.
just like the off-wall.
He's like a little dog with a flat tail.
Hey, yeah, I heard you. I heard you do like rescue animals and stuff. Yeah. We foster dogs all the time.
Here's my flippy floppy.
We have a beaver.
We-
No,
we
hold
have-
on, wait a minute. I don't want to hear that. That's a different call. No. We have a beaver. We need rescued. Like, holy shit. That's a palate cleanse. But I'm going to offer a different kind of palate cleanse.
Okay.
And a possible option and a path forward for the United States.
Okay. Is this the Edwin Hayward
It
clip?
is.
Okay, got it. I just want to make sure I'm on the right path.
The
here.
UK recently had basically they opened up like a general election for their political parties, and we can kind of touch on this a little bit, but they are not a two-party system.
Right.
There are two primary parties, but there are several other ones, and depending on the amount of votes each party gets, that determines the amount of seats that particular party gets in Parliament. Now, for a long time, the Tories, which would be Republicans, have been in charge and in basically control of Britain at the time, the UK. And the Labour Party, the Democratic Party, I don't know, seems to have finally found a voice. And tell me if this voice doesn't resonate with you.
Interesting. I don't have no idea who this guy is. I've never seen this clip. I have no idea who he is, or I've never heard this. So
Don't forget what they have done. Don't forget Partygate. Don't forget the COVID contracts. Don't forget the lies. Don't forget the kickbacks. Don't forget the cronyism. Don't forget the division, the scapegoating of minorities, the failure to invest, the trips to the bookies, the decimation of your public services, telling working people we're all in it together. The people who hurt your family finances swanning around in the House of Lords after giving tax cuts to the richest 1% that crashed our economy. Don't forget any of it.
I
Don't
love it.
forget
Oops.
what
Sorry.
they
Happens.
have
My
done.
bad. Yeah.
And a UK election, Tories set to suffer total annihilation, final mega poll predicts. The final United Kingdom election polls make grim reading for Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's Conservatives. The YouGov MRP poll predicts Keir Starmer's Labour will win 431 seats. That they are literally winning 229 seats
Wow. That is a fucking hammering.
from, and in when they had won in 2029 102.
That's what happens when you get someone with some fucking energy who can convey a message with some energy and some conviction and is not 80 years old.
In the parliament over there in the UK, they are predicting a 210 seat majority for the Labour Party, showing the party on 430 seats, which again up 228 from the last election, while the Tories, the Republicans, the Conservatives,
Wow, that is a bloodbath.
239.
That is
Right?
a bloodbath.
It is a bloodbath.
The UK people stepped up and fucking said what they hear. That is the people. That is the voting public making a definitive statement.
That is our hope.
That is the canary in the coal mine, or the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe is the better way to put it.
Proof right there that if we get the right people with the right messaging that are just literally speaking to us, there is hope. But Ben, we have to consider this entire conversation from the top of the show. We have to consider this entire conversation from the top of the show under the veil of war, the fog of war, dare I say. Because this entire time, we have been subject, since at least 2016, but well before it, we have been under an information war attack. Ben, just recently, there was a story about the First Lady of Ukraine at the 80th memorial of the D-Day attack, buying a $4.5 million Bugatti.
Okay.
The source of the funds was supposedly American military aid money. The story appeared on an obscure French website just days ago and was swiftly debunked. Experts point out strange anomalies in the invoice posted online. A whistleblower cited in the story that appeared only in oddly edited video that may have been artificially created. Bugatti issued a sharp denial, calling it fake news, and its Paris dealership threatened legal action against the people behind the false story. But before the truth could even get its shoes on, the lie had gone viral. Influencers had already picked up the story and spread it widely. One ex-user, the pro-Russia, pro-Donald Trump activist Jackson Hinkle,
Oh, I bet he's a fucking hoot.
posted a link seen by more than 6.5
Whoa.
million people. And several other accounts spread stories of millions of more ex-users, at least 12 million in total, citing the site's metrics. It was a fake story on a fake news website designed to spread widely online, and its origins in a Russia-based disinformation operation the BBC verified last year, at which point the operation appeared to be undermining the Ukraine government. This online campaign run by a former law enforcement officer of Florida who was exiled to Russia.
Really?
Now runs multiple disinformation websites. You
Interesting.
can go ahead and look the story up on the BBC. But as we have chronicled so many times on this podcast in numerous forms, that we are under attack, and it is an information warfare attack. We have to be careful about what we read, and we have to critically think about the things we read. Because, Ben, the next story, when you argue online with somebody, this is actually what you're arguing against.
That's incredible. I like to argue online with people, but I know this. I don't argue with people that I don't know actually exist. That is a level that of social media that I don't understand. I like interacting with people that I know that I disagree with, and having discussions with them.
And honestly,
the idea that some random asshole on Twitter, and I still call it that. I saw it's still the Rosemont Horizon.
it is absolutely.
Yeah. But the idea that just some random asshole that I have no idea who he is or even what he looks like, and I'm going to argue, I'm going to spend any time trying to correct that guy's idea. Like, I want to help my friends be enlightened and not be subject to disinformation and things that are wrong. I want my friends to know the truth and not be caught up in the lies. That's my enjoyment of that's what I get out of social media. That's my purpose for social media, right? It's not to show you what I'm eating or my pictures of my son or my kids or my wife or any of that. It's not about my life. It's about interacting with my friends on subjects that I find interesting. And when they comment about something that I know is incorrect, I feel obligated to let them know that, hey, what you think and just said is not correct, and here's why.
That's what most people call a good friend.
You would think. This nonsense, like you're literally arguing with no one, just a computer algorithm with an AI set up to argue.
You're shouting into an empty room.
That is nutso. That level of involvement in social media is obviously unhealthy.
You just said a magic word. You just said nutso.
Yes.
So while all of these jerks online are hunting us down and criticizing opinions and then multi-spamming messages.
Oh my God! Is this this flying creature fucking video?
I want to show you something else that was hunting us down.
Oh God! Again, this is nature terrifying.
We have bigger things to worry about, such as the
Literally.
largest flying creature ever.
All right, ready?
Humans by comparison.
Look at that fucking thing. Could you imagine that thing flying around? The size of that thing?
Quetzalcoatlus. It is the largest ever recorded flying creature on.
That's its head.
They used to call this in a lot of terms the Thunderbird.
Uh-huh.
A lot of indigenous people have stories and myths about a ginormous flying bird that would come in and occasionally swoop down and eat a bunch of people.
That, I believe, could eat a bunch of people. Dude, the megafauna, like, you always have that hypothetical question of, like, if you had a time machine, where would you go first? And honestly, as terrifying as it would be, I think I'd want to go back to the time of the megafauna and without having to confront them closely, just to observe.
No choice.
I know that you have no choice. But like if I could be in like some sort of like protective bubble or something, or like, but to see a giant cat or a giant possum,
Like
or
literally
these
a bear
just
that's 8 feet tall. And it's not on its hind legs.
exact right. A bird that is fucking enormous, looks like a dragon. Right? You can understand by how people could confuse that thing with a dragon.
Oh, yeah.
You could, you know what I mean? Like, if not a more simple-minded version of human beings could view that thing as some sort of dragon or mythical fucking creature. I mean, that thing is fucking enormous.
How big that thing is. Anyway.
This planet was terrifying at some point. It's still terrifying now, but it was like extra. It's extra. It was extra terrifying when there were giant fucking animals everywhere.
And then we put white people in charge, and it goes right back.
Exactly.
Speaking of a lot of white people, this last bit of palate cleanse before we get to the lightning round is courtesy of the Calgary Flames. Also, then courtesy of Gigi, who brought this to my attention. And in the sports world, the quest to gain more followers and one up and throw shade at another team by also being super, super cute, I present to you the winner of that particular contest.
Harvey, I have to catch up because it's my future. And I invited my friends. This is the best day ever because I had a sleepover and that's so fun. Wait for us, Harvey. Guys, they're not trophies, they're Stanley Cups, my dad told me.
Come on in. Thank you guys.
I love
so
their
much
little
for
Canadian
coming down
accents.
to the Saddledome. And Tilly, thank you so much for bringing your class with you. This is so exciting to have a field trip here to the dressing room of the Calgary Flames. Raise your hand if you know who this is. Yes, Anna? Do you know what city they play in?
It's in Chicago, but I know.
It's Chicago.
Well, raise your hand, okay, if you know what team this is. Yes, Anna?
France?
You think the Penguins play in France? You think this team also plays in France?
Oh my gosh, that's the coolest place. Yeah, it'll freeze my brain up.
Your initial reaction, what you feel, what you think when you see this.
Boys have leaks on their shirt.
Hands up if you know who this is.
The Tigers!
The Tigers. P.S. Thank you, Tigers.
In October, Flames fans.
Oh, that's incredible. That's awesome.
It's awesome stuff right there.
That's how you
But,
use social media, right there.
That's how you use social media. But speaking of awesome stuff, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the lightning round. Let's see those thunderbolts up in the world's most dangerous chats, and we call it the Thunderdome. Welcome to the Internet Saloon. We're about to get a little spicy here. And if you're not familiar with the Thunderdome, well, let me introduce you to my dad's favorite segment, although I think he jettisoned after the...
after the admonishing you gave him.
Yeah, was it bad?
No, it was necessary. It was the right thing to do.
All right, I tried to do it. I did all the time. Anyway, welcome to the lightning round, where 3 stories enter the Thunderdome. 1 gets read, and that is chosen by you, the people. So, without dilly or dally, because I've got the next day off and I want to continue drinking beer.
There you go.
Story headline number 1. What's a fart walk? How this trendy exercise can help digestion.
All right, you have my attention.
Headline, I hope so. Headline number 2. Florida man arrested for shooting down Walmart delivery drone with 9mm pistol.
Florida man coming through again.
Never fails.
Never.
And headline number 3. Korean robot commits suicide after a year in public service.
If that isn't a metaphor for capitalism, I don't know what is.
All right. So,
Oh
folks,
my God.
of course, we thank you for joining the show.
Yeah.
Your participation, especially in this segment, is particularly important. So please get your votes out. Gigi is definitely apparently voting number 2.
Yes.
But,
She doesn't even need to hear it twice.
Just so we're clear, we're going to go ahead and give you guys another shot at hearing these. We're as we await the Ryan Hansen remix. So headline
Number 2 is the
1.
reason we celebrate 4th of July.
What's a fart walk? How this trendy exercise can help digestion.
I kind of want to know what a fart walk is. I'm interested.
Headline number 2.
Even if it doesn't get read, I may go back and find out. I might Google fart walking.
I might know somebody who has the link. So.
Perfect. You might want to pass it along to them that I want to see that if it doesn't get
Headline
voted.
number 2 from WTAP. Yes, WTAP. Florida man arrested for shooting down Walmart delivery drone with 9mm pistol. Some skilled shooting. And headline number 3. Korean robot commits suicide after a year in public service. That's it.
That's a great one too, man. But the metaphor is great as well.
We literally have 1 vote.
Yeah, come on now. Let's go.
Yeah. As we've discussed earlier in the show.
There we go. They're starting pouring. Oh wait, no, that's also
the direction of the country and this segment depends on your participation. So,
smell my walking. Florida gun range, and even robots can't take it.
Even robots can't take it.
That's great.
I love it. That one's my favorite. And Ryan Hansen's going with story number 2. Is that it? Going twice.
People are already getting on with their July 4th.
It's cool, man. Like, I've got tomorrow off. Do you have tomorrow? Are you working tomorrow?
No, but I'm playing golf bright and early tomorrow morning.
Oh,
like literally, the sun will have just come up as I start. My tee time is at 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh wow. Okay. 18.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's later. Dude, I don't mean to derail, but I like. For me, a round of golf should not take 4 hours, but it does now because people are so fucking slow. So when I play in the morning, I'm one of the first tee times off, and the only people that play that early are people that are serious about golf. No one
get through it.
No shenanigans. Yeah, exactly. They're there for the same reason I am. Get the 18 in as soon as possible and get the fuck on with your day.
Swing club, hit ball, let's go. It's
Move,
not like
right?
Jerk around, drink beer.
It is maddening. It is maddening on a Sunday that it takes sometimes 5 hours to get through a round of golf if you play in the middle of the day.
That's
because
not cool.
It's not fun. It's not fun. All right.
So,
all right. There you
a
go.
total of 3 votes will determine this week's winner, and that winner is story number 2. Florida man arrested for shooting down Walmart delivery drone with 9mm pistol. Sheriff says Lake County, Florida. Florida man was arrested after he shot down a Walmart delivery drone in his neighborhood, according to officials. The Lake County Sheriff's Office said they received a call about a Walmart delivery drone being shot on Wednesday. Responding deputies confirmed there was a bullet hole in the load that the drone was carrying. Hello. Witnesses identified the shooter as Dennis Wynn. Oh, you know what? Yeah, hold on, Ben. This.
Oh, is there? Oh, they have a picture of Florida man.
They actually have a picture of Mr. Wynn.
Perfect.
I say that lightly, Mr. You can go ahead and show that.
Oh, there he is. Yes, he looks like a Florida man that shoots at a drone. 100%. Check
identified the shooter as Dennis Wynn, 72, when speaking with deputies. Excuse me, as I belch while talking. Wynn admitted to shooting at the drone once with a 9mm pistol. He's got a hell of a name. Wynn was arrested and charged with shooting at an aircraft, criminal mischief, damage over $1,000, and discharging a firearm in public or residential property. Further information was not available. Wow. Sometimes they sound good, but they're not so great. There's a lot of detail in there, but there's not enough detail in there. Look at that, man. We showed that, man.
That's one where a headline.
man.
It's all about the headline there.
Florida man. And you know what, Ben? I'm gonna send you the link about the fart walk.
Yes, please do. I got to find out what that's all about.
I think everybody should have a fart walk. It's a thing that apparently helps relationships. It's all there. We might discuss this later on in a different episode of Topic Thunder, which you've been watching since 7 o'clock. So thank you very much for joining us Central Standard Time. My name is Brooks, and that is Ben. And as we wrap the show up, we have a lot of thanks to give, and that is to you, everybody who participated in the world's most dangerous chat zone, the Thunderdome. And hey, you get a chance to go to getshisty.com and
yes,
seriously really cool gear. So from the deck of the USS Papa,